welcoming all our viewers to our flagship program, International Affairs, broadcasting live from the Dhaka's Gulshan studio. My name is Shamsulam Panto. As I bring in every day's updates regarding the situation in the Middle East, today would be the 17th day of the escalations between the various nations in the Middle East. We see counter attacks from Iran towards UAE. The highest number of attacks that has happened in these 17 days is regarding the United Arab Emirates, and it's been targeting airports as well as oil refineries to the north. Before I begin the discussion today, let me introduce my panel. In the studio, we have Mr. Ali Ahmed, former member Customs of the National Board of Revenue. I welcome him onto the program once again. Alongside, we have our almost daily geopolitical correspondent joining us from Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, Norman Floyd Barnes. I want to bring the latest updates, and I want to begin with Norman. NATO finds itself at the crosshairs of this fight. First of all, Turkey, the nation to the north of the Middle East, was first seen being attacked by Iranian drones or suspected Iranian drones, and NATO had to gun it down. Today, Donald Trump is saying that if the NATO allies do not help reopen the Strait of Hormuz, there shall be a very bad future. I want to begin with this very case with Norman Floyd Barnes. What are the updates that you have from District of Columbia? Norman.
Greetings. Good morning from Washington. Actually, I was just looking at some information regarding that issue a few seconds ago. It appears, looking at the situation, that the U.S. has a situation. As you see, the president is now threatening NATO. If they don't get involved, they don't engage with solving this problem he has with the Strait of Hormuz, they are going to have a bad future, threatening them again about their survivability in the future. My analysis right now is that the United States is not in a very good situation regarding this Strait of Hormuz. The Iranians has taken the concept of stating that counter response is that the strait is not closed, it's open. It's just closed to the enemies, the United States and Israel. And anyone who wants to come through is free to come through. And the price of that will be they're accepting funds and payment in terms of the Chinese yen. The petrodollars are not accepted, and that has been very effective. That basically the waters are open. They're stating that the waters are open, and we're stating that it's closed. And it's the situation that is more of a not a gate. It's just the Iranians stating that they have control, which is a very good term to use. They have control. They're managing what's going on, and the countries that come through that area, 20% of the world's oil and all the transportation to the area has to come through that situation. They have to look at the situation, basically stating what's going on. The U.S. is stating that we want a coalition of countries, they even calling China and everybody else, to basically bring some neighborships to ensure safe passage. The Iranians' response is open. Just we have conditions that must be met to go through this area, and one of the conditions that our enemies are not allowed to do that. You're still bombing us, you're still attacking us, you're still threatening, you're still killing us. So we're not going to tolerate your activity in the area, and we're still going to put pressure onto your allies in the areas to basically to get out of their relationship with you. So right now we're dealing with a very serious situation. It affects how the world is going to continue from the day on, and the decisions and the alternative appears to be more of an option, more peaceful option than what is proposed by the Trump administration and its ally Israel. So things are getting very dicey. Very serious. It's getting very pointed. Now we're focusing on exactly the enemy. Iran has chosen to battle the United States and Israel. The rest of the world, they're telling them that we have no problem with you. We can deal with you. We can work out. We can have agreements with you. But our enemies, no, no deal. So now the United States is scrambling, trying to figure out how they're going to deal with this. And now the spotlight is basically one on one between the US and Israel versus the rest of the world. So people are now standing back and looking at the situation and say, hey, why should I get involved in this situation between these two? And we have things we have to do, and particularly with the stance the United States is taking, basically, you follow my way or no way, people are looking at other options to do business. So the world is based on trade and trade and commerce will prevail. How that works and how the U.S. Policy works on that is the question right now. So right now, I see Iran has the advantage, even though they don't have a military
Right.
situation. But the Strait of Hormuz is not a military issue. They're stating this is not a military. We don't have any military confinements on this. This is mostly a tactical and trade and commerce situation, which the U.S. and, of course, Israel is trying to manufacture this conflict, this war, uh, as demonstrated in Lebanon, uh, what's happening in Lebanon, and the killing that continues from Gaza. Gaza is still
Right.
going on. Now it's bleeding over to Lebanon, and now they are looking at trying how we can carry this over to the shores of Iran.
Right, very important updates coming from Norman Floyd Barnes. We understand that the picture of Gaza, the genocide that we've seen ever since 2023, October the 7th, ever since that date, Gaza has been reduced to a rubble, and that is the site of Middle East in a broader spectrum. Today, the discussion is regarding the Strait of Hormuz, how this geological aspect to Iran has issued a worldwide crisis of having oil becoming more than $100 per barrel. And if you look at the death toll in Lebanon, it has increased and surpassed 850 deaths. Alongside in Iran, there is over 1,300 deaths that has been reported. I want to come back to the studio with Ali Ahmed. You were hearing Norman Floyd Barnes and how I have made a distinction between Gaza and the upcoming future of the Middle East, given that today Donald Trump has asked NATO allies to help reopen this Strait of Hormuz. Even in the Bangladeshi context, Bangladesh was allowed to move its ships towards this strait, even though our naval...
So was India.
So was India as well. And because of that, today they're still scared whether or not they should be using this kind of passage. Your observation, sir?
This is a very interesting observation. If you have marked how Mr. Araghchi, the foreign minister of Iran, speaks very laconically, he said, yeah, no, they have not asked for any peace or any negotiation. We do not ask for it. It will go on as long as, and he is very cool and calculated and absolutely absolutely all right. America became so, USA I mean, became so upset that it started almost sending public notices to European and other leaders, including China, who is also there with their own warship there to help. Yes, China and Russia to help Iran, and he is also requesting China now for helping them with opening the strait. It is madness. Why should they help? The NATO is, they have Article 5 that if only a member is attacked by another person, other members will treat it as if they have been attacked personally. But it has not been an attack. It has been an attack first by Israel, immediately after that followed by USA. So they have attacked a peaceful country while the negotiation was going on, and they almost said that yeah, we are reaching it, and suddenly they started. So Donald Trump or his America has not been attacked by anyone. NATO is not treaty bound to come there. But as gentlemanly gesture, Keir Starmer telephoned him and talked to him. We thought something must have transpired. But after the telephone, Keir Starmer gave a cabinet decision that there would be subsidy for the poor households for their burning oil and all that. So they are not taking any care of Donald Trump. You should understand, he never cared to talk to any of them. He is now threatening that, well, the NATO will suffer. But NATO has suffered at his hands. He has
regarding
finally
the Arctic Circle as well, the debates that were going
that
on
is
earlier
a NATO country, a part of the NATO country, and here also he wanted to take it by force. Not just this, when the situation in Ukraine was bad, he agreed to pay supply even munitions. Only Germany undertook to pay, and then after the payment he has given it. So it is not a help by him to the NATO. He is selling his arms at a profit. Now how can he expect NATO? Shame is a thing I have observed he does not possess at all.
Of course, very important comment by Ali Ahmed. Having some shame should be important. Even after removing the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei from power, this war has spiraled out into a regional war. And I want to mention, before I can come to Norman Floyd Barnes, yesterday a broadcaster from the US was tagging along with Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi of Iran, and the reporter asked, there was 2 Americans who were held in Irani prisons and whether they would be safe or not. And Abbas Araghchi had said, if they are in the Iranian prison, they are safe from us, but not from the attacks from the US. I want to understand, Norman Floyd Barnes, this is a spiraling event. As we know, everything is fair in love and war, or at least that's how I see it. What is your observation before we can go for a break?
Yes, this situation going into the 3rd week now, I don't see any let up. I see basically this is a psychological matter. Basically, the U.S. and Israel are aggressively attacking the country, militarily destroying the infrastructure, but Iran has basically taken the collective, cool, concise response to that, calculating, and they are playing on the situation that, hey, we want to engage the world. We want to do work, commerce. We want to basically carry on our way of life, how we see things. And we welcome that to engage with anyone else in the world. The U.S. and Israel has an agenda to basically to decimate and destroy the regime and replace it, stating that this is a bad omen, the world doesn't need this and whatever. However, the response from Iran has been one that, hey, we are not attacking people. We are defending people. We are advising the countries, the coastal countries, that we are only responding as a result of the U.S. and Israel aggression. We're just responding back. We're trying to protect our interests.
A deterrence.
So doing work and trade is a positive thing they want to do, engage, and that's a projection they want to put out to the world. And we're free to do this. Just that we are not going to engage our enemies. Our mortal enemies are, we'll let you know who they are, and you can work with them, but you can't work with us.
Right.
We want to work with you, but we can't have you working both sides of the fence. So you have to make decisions, and decisions are being made about the future, and particularly with the attitude that are being betrayed by the aggressors of the United States and Israel with their killings, the destruction, and how the world is reviewing this. They are not seeing the United States in the manner of a protector. They're looking at, hey, Gulf states, the U.S. have bases here. You're supposed to be protecting us. You're not doing a good job. It's not working.
Right.
So we have to make all alternative moving. We have to make a shift, moving to the rest of the world, moving to the future. We have to protect our best interests. And our best interest is not associating, I hate to say, with the United States of Israel right now. So people are backing off on that association. They're backing off on the guarantees because trust is an issue, and trust has left the room.
Of
Thank
course, a very important ending statement there. Trust has left the room. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a commercial break. After the break, we will understand how other foreign actors are playing into this worldwide event. Do stay with us. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Panto.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
they will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Panto.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
Opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen.
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
they will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
Welcome back on International Affairs. Today, we are joined by Mr. Ali Ahmed in the studio, while we have Norman Floyd Barnes from District of Columbia, Washington. I want to begin with a very important topic in the studio, the bleeding of the world economy. Once we understand that multiple nations are in this fighting stance, in this retaliatory aspect, the world economy continues to bleed on every single day. Whether it be food security, if not supply security and energy security, even in a nation so far away from this Middle Eastern war, Bangladesh, we are seeing a drastic panic buying of petrol and crude oil here in the capital, Dhaka. I want to begin once more with Ali Ahmed. Bleeding of the world economy. The dollar price for a barrel of oil is exceeding $100 as of the last 17 days. The long-term impact,
now it is 105, 6.
105 and 6. It is increasing by the hour as this war progresses. What is your belief of the coming days?
Well, the reality is that it is bleeding the world economy, but it would have bled far more profusely had there not been two factors. First of all, America started releasing its own reserve oil, and many other countries have started releasing, so that the supply situation doesn't become absolutely intolerable. So that is one of the calming factor. The other factor is, very interestingly, they had a sanction on Russia that nobody can buy oil from Russia because that would give them the money to fight against
another war in another front.
But now he has say, he says temporarily allows. Anybody now can buy oil from Russia, and that oil money goes to Russia, and Russia can fight Ukraine. So what is it doing, this policy decision? One ally is being killed, the other in order to save himself. But it's not all that easy. As it seems, Iran, they know that the combined military power of the USA and Israel is too big for him. They know they cannot fight out, and they are not going to win the war. They are going to. It is a war of attrition. He will blind. He wants the Iranians want Russia to bleed white. This way it will continue, and the trade route will be barred. If he comes up with his bombing, the Russia and China is already in the field with their naval vessels. They are supplying information, all that. It's not going to be that easy. So, and now he is frantically calling everybody in the West, their allies they call it, whom they did not know earlier. So, I think it is going to be very difficult for him, the catch-22 situation. He cannot come out of it so easily. I think America is going to have a lesson, and that is exactly what Iran wants. Iran knows that these two countries can smash his industry and many other infrastructure, but cannot smash their willpower. As they say it, the boots on the ground, if it goes in Iran, they will be finished. It will be far worse than Vietnam, because I have seen part of it, huge mountains all around Iran and desert and all that. If the American soldiers go there, very few will return to America. So that is what they are waiting for, and perhaps they are not going there.
Of course, as a very important summary of regarding what Ali Ahmed sees regarding Middle East and the war that is ongoing, I want to bring out a topic for Israel with Norman Floyd Barnes. In the last UNGA 80, I was there in the Assembly Hall, and I've seen when Benjamin Netanyahu took to the podium, many of the United Nations members states, most of them, almost 75% of the hall had left. And when he had started his speech, he had talked about a greater Israel that included capitulating many nations such as Lebanon, such as Syria. And
from Jordan to part of Saudi Arabia and other parts, huge dream. And there has been other talks. Where did they get it? They say God gave them. Does God sell land to people?
Of course not.
And there were, the Canaanite civilization was a few thousand years there before this Jewish kingdom, according to the Bible. So where were the Canaanites if the whole world was theirs? And God does not give any document in writing to Netanyahu and his forefathers that we give this land to you. He is not a land giver.
And because of what Ali Ahmed just has said, I want to direct this question towards Norman Floyd. Having in such an open debate, the world's greatest open debate, the UNGA, in which Benjamin Netanyahu has talked about a greater Israel. What is your observations? They have started with troops on the ground in southern Lebanon with multiple casualties, and Hezbollah seems to be fighting back with all of its sources and power. Your observations, Norman Floyd Barnes.
Yes, thank you for the question. Just looking at the scenario, the Israeli profile is one of a barbaric regime with notions of conquesting the whole region, supported by the United States. That conception, that idea, that movement is viewed upon the world as negative, as you stated in the UN conference or meetings or whatever. And now you're seeing right now that anything associated with Israel is taboo. No one wants to be associated with them. No one wants to support them. They are looking right now to basically watch this country and its ambitions dry up. Basically, people are separating themselves from relationship with Israel, separating themselves with recognition, supplies, even in the sports areas. They are not recognizing Israel in this current state of mind Not talking about the people, but the government, their intentions of the conquest of the region. That is not being accepted in the Gulf states, the surrounding region, and the rest of the world. They looked at it like I'm going to use the word, nothing short of being barbaric. And that is not going to survive as we move in the future. People are not going to tolerate this. And the United States support of this. And since the United States is turning into a larger vision of Israel in the views of the world, so anything that these two countries do is going to be looked upon with skepticism and doubt and alternatives. The world is rather negotiate directly with Iran than with the United States and Israel right now. Have you noticed that? They're making negotiations, they're talking. So as we mount this war against Iran, the rest of the world is looking at a countermeasure, how to coexist, how to work, how to do things, how to do a workaround and an alternative, as the Chinese will say. We want to be the alternatives. So the alternative is anti-U.S. Israel.
I would like to thank Norman Flood Barnes for his observations, insights, and valuable contribution to the growing and expanding of our program here in Dhaka's SATV International Affairs. Alongside, I would also want to thank Ali Ahmed for being here, gracing us in the studio. Before I finish, I want to also add on the recognition of Israel and US and their acts as of recent. Even a nation like Spain does not agree with some of these actions, is openly condemning the actions they have conducted in the Middle East. With that being said, I want to end today's International Affairs, and I hope to see you all on tomorrow's program.